Hi everyone, it's Dreena, back with a yoga video. This one's a little shorter today. We're going to focus on the core. So let's take a minute and get grounded, do some breathing before we begin. Close your eyes and invite the inhales into your body through the nose, out the mouth. Take this moment to pause and connect now that you're on the mat. Breathe deeply into your belly. Open your eyes. And we're going to begin with some Sufi grinds. So we're going to move the torso in a clockwise motion around, inhaling forward and to the side, and an exhale as you come back, hollowing out your tummy and coming forward, extending your spine, bringing your chest forward to the side, exhale back. Continue with these clockwise motions. This is one of my favorite yoga moves, and it's sometimes called Sufi grinds. Stir the pot is what I like to call it. I think you can guess why, all of my recipe people out there. And I like to think of my spine like a wooden spoon moving through a thick soup or stew. And so really imagine your spine moving in that motion, and it will help you articulate through all directions. So I just changed the direction, so go counterclockwise now. And this helps your spine move through all ranges of motion. I love to do it in the morning. It feels so good. Any time of day, it's a little energizing. And now just bring it any direction you want, back and forth. If there's a spot that feels maybe a little sticky, I always find around the hips. Feels a little bit sticky for me and I want to hang out. Go ahead and do that. And as you're moving, draw attention to your abdominals here. So it's real easy to do this move and just kind of swing around, or you can think and ground into your abdominals, think about your spine, and really center in there. We'll talk a little bit more about engaging those abdominals as we move through. But when you focus on those deep abdominals and engage them, this is a completely different sensation than just kind of moving through it. Already, I'm feeling my abdominals working through this. We're not doing crunches or anything like that, but I can feel my abdominals really strengthening here. Good. Inhale your arms to the sky, and on an exhale, a gentle twist here. Turn your torso to the right, left hand on the knee, tent your right hand behind you, lift tall with the spine, and rotate from the ribs to the right. Breathe deep into your belly. And on the exhale, return to center. Inhale your arms high. Sweep them above your head. Exhale. Turn to the left, right hand on the left knee. And your left fingertips tented behind you. Come tall with your spine and rotate with your ribs. Breathe into your belly again. I have a tendency to lift my shoulder and twist, so I'm mindful to relax the shoulder as I'm twisting. So I'll cue you to do the same. exhale, return to center. Now we're gonna make our way into boat pose, but we're not going to do full boat pose. I actually really dislike full boat pose because I find the length of my legs makes it quite strenuous on my hip flexors to do this pose. So I want to show you an option moving into boat pose. So place your feet about hips distance apart on the mat, and instead of coming into boat pose, I want you to hold behind your thighs. Slowly engage your abdominals. So think about a couple of things you can do. Think about drawing your navel towards your spine. Also think of drawing your rib cage towards your hip bones and engaging your abdominals that way. Some cues like that tend to help. Also, if you're thinking about where your belt buckle will sit, try to imagine bringing your abdominals away from your belt buckle, so making space. So try one of those techniques, engage your abdominals, curve down towards the floor, and just gently hold the backs of your thighs here. We're not even lifting our legs now, we're just holding. Breathe through it. And now gently lift one leg and then the other. And I'm already wobbling. This is a hard pose for me. And in class, I will always hold the backs of my thighs. And come back to the floor. Draw your ribs forward, inhale, and exhale. We're gonna make our way down to the mat very slowly. Again, curve your spine. Think of drawing your navel towards your spine, bringing your ribs towards your hip bones, drawing in those abdominals to engage them as you curve back slowly. So we're making our way to the mat very slowly now. You can keep your hands on your thighs. I'm not gripping, it's just a little bit of support. And as you're almost to the mat, you're going to begin to soften that curve to release, but gently release your spine. And now you're unfolding and feel your vertebrae melt down into the mat and release. And I have to edge my way forward here, or I'm going to hit the piano stool. Okay. Now lift your feet off the mat with your knees lined up over your hips. Gently place your hands on your knees like you're cupping your knees. Flexed feet, and we're going to lower one foot at a time. So begin with the right foot, lower it, and lift back. We're doing this very slowly, as you can see. And faster doesn't mean you're doing anything more effective. I like this move because there's no strain on the neck. Left, exhale, lift, right, inhale, lower, exhale, lift. Inhale, lower, left, exhale, lift. Right, inhale, lower, exhale, lift. Left, inhale, exhale, lift. A few more times. I'm going to keep talking and we'll keep moving. You can go a little slower if you want. But sometimes when we're doing abdominal work, and most of us have had experience doing crunches in workouts at the gym or in classes, online, whatever, and there's quite a stress and strain on the neck. I love these movements where we're working deep into the abdominals, into the lower abdominals, and it's not about that six-pack as much as strengthening all those core deep muscles, your transverse abdominals, and the deeper obliques and the twists that we're doing that support your spine and support all the postures that you do in yoga. Couple more left. Let's finish it right there. And now squeeze your knees into your chest for release. Should feel very, very nice. We're gonna come rock back and forth a little bit on the lower back. And let's place our feet back down on the mat. We're gonna do some heel touches here. So place your hands on the mat, lengthen your arms, and roughly where it's sort of like where you would go up into bridge pose, roughly where your fingertips would touch your heels. Scoot your feet a little forward from there. And we're gonna move to the right and to the left, touching the right foot to the right heel and left foot to the left heel, okay? So moving right and left. Exhale, inhale center, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale. So we're working those oblique muscles now. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Try to soften through the face. I know it's easy to grip when we're doing these motions. Couple more. Right and left. And release your head back. So you may have felt that one a little bit more in your neck, and that's normal. It's important not to grip and tense too much. So if it's too uncomfortable, then take a break. Just take a break from that motion. And if you're doing other abdominal work and you're able to support your neck, you can do so. We could also do that move this way, and you could support your neck. So now we're going to lift our heels to the sky. Flex your feet. Let's just pedal it out a little bit. Flex and point. That was a great little crack. And good. Okay, so find your comfortable position here. Now, activate those abdominals again. And this is a position where you can lightly press your lower back into the mat. So there's some moves where we actually like to have a little bit of space between the lower back and the mat. This is one where you can press your lower back into the mat as we're doing the movement. So reach your fingertips up to your toes, and we're going to lift. If this is uncomfortable on your neck, support with one hand, okay? And lift, and we're not coming down, we're holding. We're going to lift a little higher. Engage your abdominals. Think of your ribs coming towards your hips. And a little higher. This is hard. I know it's hard. And a little higher. And now a few pulses. And hold again. And a little higher. And slowly release. Bring your knees down and your feet down. And hug in those knees to the chest. It feels very good. And now we're going to take our feet, sort of like cobbler's pose, knees out with the soles of your feet touching. And we're going to do that same motion, reaching for our feet, okay? So again, if your neck is bothering you, just support with one elbow and you can switch halfway through. So I'll do that with you. And reach and hold. You want a little extra engagement through your inner thighs. Think of pressing your feet together. Don't just think of it, do it. Do it and think of it. And hold. You're going to feel this in your inner thighs and through your abdominals. And let's switch hands. Try to keep your face soft. Hold. Squeeze your feet and pulse. Ribs to hip bones, navel to spine. And hold, hold, a little higher, and release. Knees to your chest. Come on guys, you've got to be feeling that. I'm definitely feeling it. And we've done a lot of abdominal work here. So before we finish up, we're going to roll over and do some work for the spine. We've done a lot of flexion. Let's just finish off with some extension in the spine. So come onto the mat on your tummy. Bring your elbows roughly under your shoulders, but even scooch them forward a little bit more than your shoulders. So this is Sphinx pose, and I want you to think of drawing your forearms, just pulling your forearms on the mat slightly, energetically even. And as you do that, draw your chest up and forward. Press your thighs into the mat, thighs into the mat. You want to engage your glutes a little, but we're not clenching the heck out of our butts. Just a slight engagement. Also think of drawing your chin back towards the back of your skull. So you're not arching your neck back, but keeping integrity in the spine. A few more breaths here. And slowly release to the mat. Make your way onto your back again. We'll do a reclined twist and move into a quick Savasana. Bring your knees to your chest. Always nice to finish any session with a twist. Arms out to the side, your knees bent. Slowly release your knees to the floor. As you're doing this, again, engage your abdominals. I always get a little spinal adjustment when I do this move. And soften. You can have your arms out to the side. Your head can be neutral. You can look out over the left arm. Your arms can be in cactus if you prefer. That's a little intense for me right now, so I'm going to keep my arms to the side. And we're going to come back to center. As you do, activate your abdominals again. And feel the difference, drawing your legs up with that engagement in your abdominals. Scoot your hips, lift them and scooch them to the right just slightly. And slowly lower to the left. I've got to move my microphone here. It feels so good. Let your breath go all the way into your belly, your spine here. Breathe it deep. On the next exhale, begin to now, again, draw your abdominals in. Inhale, raise your feet back to center. And let your legs open and your arms open into Savasana. Just a very quick Savasana now before we clue up. So let everything soften. Let your feet fall open. Your arms fall open. Your fingertips curl in. Let your eyes soften. See if there's anywhere you're gripping or tensing. Open your mouth. Just let your jaw drop. And sink a little further. Stay here if you want. If you have more time and you want to linger in Shavasana, absolutely do so. Otherwise, just begin to move around your fingers and toes and roll your hands, your wrists, your feet, your head side to side. Come over onto your right side or your left side if that's more comfortable. Push up into seated. And that's our little abdominal ditty for today. I'm going to bring you another one soon. I love doing some core work through yoga, and I've had a couple of small injuries in my ankles and my wrists, and it's a beautiful way to come to the mat without aggravating some of those little injuries. So I will bring another to you, and I hope you enjoyed this one. Thanks for sharing your time with me today and for being part of my community here. Until next time, namaste.